What is money laundering? Money laundering is the process whereby criminals attempt to hide and disguise the true origin and ownership of the proceeds of the criminal's activities. How is money laundered? When people make money illegal, then how they spend it without suspicion? They amass money and hide it several different ways. One day, Sarah takes her money to a casino and changes it into chips. She practicing for several hours or days. Sarah cashed out her chips and claimed it all as good luck at the table. In this way, Sarah may lose some money and may have to pay tax, but otherwise, it's impossible to trace the money back to her. On the other way, Sarah give her money to middleman. Then the middleman make deposit under 100,000 to a series of bank accounts. When Sarah needs money, she asks the middleman to withdraw it. With many accounts under multiple people's names, it is difficult to trace it back to Sarah. Are three stages of money laundering. The first stage is placement. The thief funds are placed into a financial institution via cash bank deposit. The second stage is layering. Criminals make several transactions to mask the identity of the funds, such as wire transfer between different accounts, deposit and withdraw funds, changing the money's currency, and purchasing the high-value items such as gold bar, diamonds, or art. Final stage is integration stage. Final bank transfer into a local business in which the launderer is invested in or the sale of the gold or diamonds during the layering stage. At this point, criminals can use the money without getting caught.
Next, we move to the layering tactics. Before we proceed with the tactics, we must know what is the purpose of the layering tactic. The purpose of the layering tactic is to confuse the anti-money laundering control by incorporating multiple financial instruments and transactions. These are the common layering tactics. First one is bulk cash smuggling. Second is cash-intensive business. Third is shell companies and trusts. Fourth is material asset bought with cash and resold. Bulk cash smuggling refers to wire transfers between bank accounts often held in multiple names at multiple banks and in multiple countries. For cash-intensive business, the money from the illegal sources will be transferred into the business account and claimed as the revenue on the business. For example is restaurant, saloons, and convenience store. How about the shell companies and trusts? What does it mean? The money from the illegal sources also will be put in the shell companies. The shell companies refers to the companies which exist only on paper without having any employees and officers but have bank account. The shell companies do not disclose the true owner. The last tactic to be discussed is material asset bought with cash and resold. The assets are bought using the illicit money to avoid detection of huge amount of the illicit money within the bank accounts. The material assets can be luxury cars, yachts, gold, and all these assets will be sold to earn back the cash. All these assets will be sold locally or abroad to make it difficult to be traced.
After knowing the common layering tactics, the next part to be discussed is detecting layering. Example of scenario layering. A customer named Bao withdraw multiple small amount of cash where illegal funds were deposited during placement. As this will not trigger the reporting threshold, the cash will be then wired to an offshore account. Then it will be consolidated, which will be resulted in purchasing high value items such as paintings and yachts. Once placement has occurred, layering can be quite hard to detect because money is constantly moving to elude detection. However, AML has set up program to detect layering. So the question is, what are the activities that AML monitor consider to be red flags? First is frequent transaction, especially transaction which end with the exact amount. Second is funding speed, where a deposit of money into accounts that are then rapidly withdrawn. Third is the frequent transfer between accounts within the same institution, and the fourth one is frequent use of wire transfer into and out of accounts. The last one is the destination and source of funds, especially from high-risk countries or accounts. According to Basel AML Index of 2019, the least risky countries are Estonia, Finland, and New Zealand, while the riskier countries are Mozambique, Laos, and Myanmar. Despite intent to confuse and frustrate AML control, screening and monitoring software remains an important AML component. However, the ability of frontline employees to spot contextual characteristics is also crucial. This is to ensure that layering can be prevented and detected in the near future.
Next, we proceed to layering example. Wachovia Bank case in year 2010 is a good illustration to show layering. An estimation of £292.5 billion is involved in the money laundering process. The money laundering is made by drug cartels in Mexico. There are many drug trafficking activities across the US-Mexico border. Casa de Cambio, or CDC, are currency exchange houses in Mexico. CDC involved in the case has dollar account with Wachovia Bank in the US. The drug cartels approached the CDC with US dollars to convert it to Mexican peso. As Mexico's regulatory requirement is less stringent, CDC never checked the origin of the money and straight away wires and shipped the money to the US using Wachovia's bulk cash service provided to them. Wachovia did not perform their due diligence to check the origin of the money nor perform any Know Your Customer (KYC) strategy when receiving money from CDC. With so, the dirty money is then layered via CDC until they are exposed by internal whistleblower in year 2010.
In order to counter money laundering cases in Malaysia, there are few legislation being introduced such as Dangerous Drug Professional Fraud on Property Act, Anti-Corruption Act 1997, Penal Code, and Anti-Money Laundering 2001, which is known as AMLAF. We will focus on AMLAF as it is the primary Malaysia statute dealing with anti-money laundering and anti-terrorism financing. The AMLAF is federal legislation that has applied throughout all state and federal territories of Malaysia. Different offences under the AMLAF have different maximum penalties. The maximum penalties for money laundering offences under Section 4 of AMLA is imprisoned for 15 years and or fine of 5 times the value of proceeds or 5 million, whichever is higher.